Hey, how are y'all doing?
We're doing well. How about
Good.
yourself?
Doing pretty good.
Good
Doing
to
good.
hear. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And I'll just wait a little bit. We're waiting for one other person, and we'll do our introductions. But thank you so much for
Okay.
your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, no, of
Yeah, thank you.
course.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll give her a moment. But
Yes, I said just be a moment. But in the meantime, in between time, how's your day been? What all have you been up to?
It's been a good day. Just been, planning. Uh, uh, yeah, just been planning, working on some of the construction plans, and yeah, so just
beautiful.
working on things. Yeah.
Well, we
Excited
will
for
definitely
you.
dig into that. All right, Amanda's loading, so I'll start with our introductions.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. This is Sister Soul Sessions. This is season 2, episode 14. I am your host tonight, Brittany, and we're going to be joined tonight by our executive creative director, Miss B.
Yes, my name is Brandy. I go by B. I'm the executive creative director, also a co-host here at Sister Soul Sessions.
Yes,
And I don't see her request.
And tonight we
They
are
were out there.
lucky. I am super excited to be speaking with Miss Aleeyah Sanders of the Dream Camp. So honored to have you tonight. And we'll go ahead and get you to introduce yourself, a little bit about the Dream Camp, and just what you have going on, if you would.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you for having me. Everyone, my name is Aleeyah Sanders, and I am the founder and CEO of the Dream Camp Inc. We are an up and coming, what we are calling an eco village resort. It's located in Arizona, and it's on 20 acres of land. However, we're looking to expand that land base to more acreages. But yeah, so we're an up and coming resort. Um, Looking to put glamping on the site, co-living, and recreation. So
That's
yeah, and then
beautiful.
um, yeah,
I love it. I love it. So Arizona, like what, are you from there? How did you wind up there?
yeah. So I'm originally from Sacramento, California, and
Okay.
then I moved to Tuskegee, Alabama for college,
Right.
and then but Arizona really stuck out to me because there's just so many things that you can do there that you can't do like in other places. So um, like when it comes to real estate and development, they allow you to
Okay.
have different kinds of like buildings and structures that you can't have like anywhere else except for maybe New Mexico. So
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. So it's just the Wild West, so in that aspect. So um because of the types of structures we want to do, Arizona was like the perfect place, to put this type of space, and plus the land was really cheap. So cheaper than other
Right.
places, put it that way. But so yeah, so I wanted to choose Arizona, and so we chose an area in northeast Arizona. It's actually kind of near the Grand Canyon. It's about two
Oh,
hours away from the
perfect.
Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we decided to put it there.
No, what prime location that is for you to have an eco village and resort 2 hours away from, like such a landmark and somewhere that is heavily visited. So yeah, that's amazing that you got that. Was it
Yeah.
difficult to acquire that land? Like I said, that's pretty prime location. I know that they do have, areas if it's more like desert or undeveloped where you can get those land breaks, but was it still difficult just because you're close to the Grand Canyon?
No, it actually wasn't very difficult. So there's a website that I went to, that anybody can go on to get land. You do have to do your due diligence and,
Right.
look it up, but the website is called landwatch.com. There's different real estate agents selling land there, and also just uh, owners selling their own land. But yeah, so I was looking up different land parcels that were for sale in the area, did my due diligence, to see if there were any areas that had like a HOA
Right.
or any like regulations and things like that.
Mhm.
And um, found this particular piece of land. It's in a very, rural, isolated area, but that's what we wanted. to be away from other people, to really have that privacy and seclusion. But once I found it and did the due diligence, met with the seller and, visited it, and really loved it. And so we decided to, go through with it all the way to purchase it.
That's beautiful. And when you say like eco village, can you kind of elaborate on that for us? Like, what does that entail? I know on your site you talk a lot about sustainability and just community building, but where does the eco village fit, and what does that mean for us, really?
Yeah, so an eco village essentially is a community of houses. So basically, we would like to put 12 houses on the site total. And with the eco village, it's called eco because all of the houses will be off grid. Essentially, they'll be running on solar energy and wind energy. So that's the eco part of it. It's very eco friendly and sustainable and things like that. And yeah, so with an eco village, it'll be a co-living space. So the houses will have multiple bedrooms, and they all kind of share common areas and things like that in the space. So essentially, it's like a sustainable co-living community.
Right. Oh, I love that. Okay. And everyone, benefits and helps each other, and makes it grow and things like that, and you keep acquiring land. So no, that's a beautiful system, and honestly the best way for you to grow that. Now, since that is your plan with it, is that how it began, and were you able to go in with friends or family to create this? Is this eco living as far as you got people to get involved, or is this like, hey, this was my dream, I went in, I got all of the land grants and things like that, and it's your baby?
Yeah, so this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Like originally I got interested in land because my grandparents owned land in Arkansas, in which they ended up passing that land down to me. So the original location was going to be on that land in Arkansas, but Arizona just really stuck out to me. But yeah, I just wanted to do this for a really long time, and I saw the opportunity to really, do it, and to purchase this land and to get started. So I solely purchased the land, and yeah, basically setting this up as a venture. So like a venture business, an entity and things like that. So we'd also have a developer company who's our advisor, helping us, with the development, getting, all of the paperwork together and things like that. So yeah, we're just like setting it up like an entity to where we can be able to get, investment capital and things like that. So going forward, but yeah, to purchase the land, I was like, this is a great deal. Let me just go ahead and hop on it.
That was beautiful. And you said, so yeah, everybody, Land Watch, definitely want to visit. There's a few other sites that I went on as well. I found some properties similar. I had a dream like that. I wanted to open a fish farm or create it from scratch. And everyone's like, why would you want to do that? But it was just sustainable living, and the ecosystem creates itself and sustains itself. So finding that and got that deal, but realizing in that how difficult it is to actually till this land and develop. So I want to ask you your experience in that, and just breaking ground, things like that. I bought land that it used to be a pine tree farm, and although it is no longer operable, there's a lot of trees that I had to get pulled up. So did you feel like did you face some things like that? What was it like for you to actually start developing once you purchased the land?
Yes. So it is very tough. So when I first purchased it, and when I began building on it, so we started building already an A-frame cabin to like, kind of get us started and things like that. But yeah, it's very difficult because one, it's in a, isolated area, not that many, people around, or stores for that matter. Like you have to drive about an hour, or an hour and a half up the road to get to, the nearest like Home Depot and things like that, to even get material to the site. And so we had got a big box truck to get, the material from the store to the site to
Yeah,
start
doing
building.
small
Yes.
small hauls, yeah.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, and just trying to do that. It was a little difficult because while we are like up in elevation, we're like about 6,000 feet above sea
Mhm.
level. So, which means it doesn't get as hot as it would like in Phoenix,
Right.
but it still gets, very hot in the
So you have that
summer.
like
Since it's
Flagstaff type weather
yeah,
where okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
hmm
But
so,
it's great
but
for
still like
tourism and
building.
having people, come. But yeah.
Right. Right, right. So it was just like little challenges like that. Um, and we didn't have any like trees to really remove since it's, kind of
Right.
deserty and
Right.
things like that. It was pretty easy in that respect. We could just, choose a spot where we wanted to build, like kind of survey the land and choose where we wanted to build without having to like uproot any like trees or anything like that. But yeah, just getting, to and from the site
Things,
was
yeah.
a little difficult at first. Yeah.
So with you wanting to get like the, 12 homes on there and they're going to be communal living,
Mhm.
what is that like as far as zoning for bathrooms, Wi-Fi, things like that, are these things that you will incorporate, or is this going to be, kind of like you're living off the land type of situation? Can you explain what it would be like or a day in the life at the Eco Village?
Yeah. So definitely we want this to be a luxurious experience. So um our plans going forward with the development. So the area, it's zoned agricultural general,
Okay.
which means you can do anything, agricultural. You can do a development like anything recreational, like a resort, hotel, country club, things like that out there. You just have to get like a special type of permit for that zoning, but it doesn't need to be rezoned or anything like that.
Perfect. Well, now
Um,
you got a good spot. Seriously, yeah.
right, right, right. And so with that, yeah, we can do anything and build even with the natural materials. Um, so yeah, we are gonna have everything off grid, but it's a elevated experience
Okay.
with, all of the amenities like Wi-Fi. There's a company called Starlink that specializes in
Okay.
getting Wi-Fi to, rural
Yeah.
areas. It's like hooked up through a satellite, and so you can really hook up Wi-Fi anywhere. Um, and it's kind of like what the style of structures that we're going with. I don't know if you guys seen those vacation spots in Bali. It's
Okay.
like these um, vacation structures that are like really luxurious but made out of
Hmm.
natural
Right.
material.
Yeah.
That's the kind of style that
Yeah.
we're
Like
going for.
the
And like our
motherships.
next, right, right, exactly. And one of our next steps is to work with our architects. So we have a list of architects that we're choosing from to actually
Wow.
get the official design of the site plan and all of the architectural drawings and floor plans and things like that to really like
Perfect.
start building the commercial style. So like originally starting out with the building the A-frame, we were just kind of doing that to like test the waters and things, but going forward we're gonna like really do this commercial real estate style.
Okay.
So
Perfect. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mhm. And so we're gonna
Oh,
hire like actual contractors
yeah.
and
To
things like that for the
actually, yeah,
project.
build this out
Hmm.
and make sure and make sure you can expand on it. So no, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Exactly. Right.
Did you want to ask the questions, B, that were in the chat? I think we missed a couple. Sorry.
Absolutely. So we do have a question from Amanda. She asks, how did you come how did you come up with the idea of wanting to even start an eco village? So that's the
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting because I first got the idea for like an eco village when I was at Tuskegee. So I went to Tuskegee University, HBCU in
Mhm.
Alabama, and it was an interesting, living experience down there because, when you're living the college life, sometimes you start off in the dorm, so that's like the first kind of communal living style I got
Right.
accustomed to. And it was really interesting. It was really fun and cool because, you know, everyone had a business going on in the dorms. Like
Mm-hmm.
you walk down the hall, you have like somebody who does hair, somebody who does nails, somebody who sells, you know, food. Like
Right.
everything was right there in the community essentially. Even when you
Mm-hmm.
move off campus and stay in the apartments, you know, it's the same type of atmosphere, and you can go anywhere and it's a vibe, you know,
Right.
everybody knows each other and things like that. And so, you know, graduating from Tuskegee, it just wasn't that same vibe. You know, everybody has jobs. You don't know your neighbors. You know, in the real
I
world,
understand.
it's like you go to work, come home, go to sleep, and repeat, do it all over again.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I really wanted to repeat, you know, that kind of communal living style, especially, you know, with our people. So I
Yeah,
thought,
real chance to
and also,
fellowship. Yeah.
right, it's like a lot of us really need that kind of, you know, community
Mm-hmm.
around us. And I
Mm-hmm.
found a lot of people, you know, really still kind of yearn for that kind of living style, because especially how remote working is taking off now. So you don't really have to be in a physical
Right.
location if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I've always been, you know, passionate about sustainability as well. So I just wanted to fuse those two together and, you know, create, you know, an eco village essentially. So,
That was beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
And we
It,
do have one more question.
mhm.
So the next question is, have you started growing food yet? Are you looking for any assistance over the summer of 2024?
Yeah, so we haven't started growing food yet. We have tested the soil to see like what kind of foods we can grow. And because it's kind of a deserty area, what we'll have to do is we're gonna build this thing called a wallapini. It's what the Native Americans used, the Wallapai tribe.
mm-hmm.
They used basically it's you dig a underground greenhouse essentially, and it's used for
Wow.
areas and climates that are like extremely cold and extremely hot. So since, you know, in that area we get all four seasons. We get, you know, the real hot
Right.
weather, and then it snows in the winter. It gets like freezing cold. So we have to do something underground with the Wallapini. So we're gonna build out like a whole greenhouse situation where we can um essentially have our raised beds underground and have our different types of soils and things like that to grow our food. That way, also different types of animals won't, you know, come eat our food and things like that. Since there's a lot of cows in the area, it's a free grazing area for cows and other
Okay.
types of
Yeah.
animals too. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like a unique internatural realm is familiar with the
Mm.
Wallachini. So, yeah, definitely, hey, link up, follow the
Right.
Have
Dream
to reach
Camp.
out.
Because, yeah, I'm sure, you know, that's something that she will welcome with the community building. So, definitely, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I've never even heard of that term. So, definitely something I want to
Same.
look into as well.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely. Yeah, look that up.
And speaking about your time at Tuskegee, can you tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about the Let's Rebuild Tuskegee project that you were on? Was that a big inspiration to what you're doing now? And
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, Let's Rebuild Tuskegee. It's a nonprofit organization that I founded in 2016. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so basically in 2016, I saved up my refund checks and bought my first house in Tuskegee, Alabama. It was a it's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath house, and I renovated it. And since I wanted to get the community involved, you know, my friends involved. I invited a lot of my friends to come out to the house, taught them construction and how to renovate the house
Wow.
and things like that. So, yeah, my degree is in construction science and management. Um, so yeah, I taught, you know, my friends how to do construction and how to, you know, invest in real estate. So with that, after that house, I founded the nonprofit Let's Rebuild Tuskegee, since most of the houses down there are abandoned and there's
Right.
not a lot of, housing for students
Mm-hmm.
to stay down there. We needed, to renovate these houses. So I taught, my friends how to invest in real estate and alumni as well. So we started acquiring more and more houses in the area and renovating them.
Wow.
Every Sunday we would have 100 of us students, at these houses, just renovating them to provide more housing. And yeah, that just really sparked a movement from 2016 to about 2021. And we're gonna revamp that
Okay.
up soon
Yeah,
as
I was gonna
well.
ask. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
Yeah,
wait, well, that sounds like something I want to
right.
do. What's
Keep that
how do we
going.
get
yeah,
that going? Yeah.
yeah,
So is it,
definitely.
yeah, and definitely now that you're in Arizona, if you get that started, a different
Yeah.
chapter, hey, let us know because yeah, that's amazing. I
Yeah,
absolutely love that. Buying back up our own neighborhoods, fixing what, gets bought up and abandoned on purpose a lot of times.
Yeah.
yeah,
So the fact that you didn't allow gentrification to come in, all of that, and you really gave back to a community that gave so much to you, being from California, going to Alabama, I wanted to talk about that too.
yeah.
But you really engulfing yourself in the community, like that is the most beautiful thing ever. Is that house still there? Are you still running, let's build Tuskegee out of it? Okay.
Yeah, so actually I just sold that house about a year ago
Okay.
to another alumni, and that was really interesting because the alumni wanted to, invest back into the
Right.
community as well.
Mhm.
So yes, sold that house recently, but um, yeah, we're gonna be revamping Let's Rebuild Tuskegee, but um, yeah, there's still alumni investing into the
Okay.
community and everything.
That's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So yeah, to know that, yeah, you have both of these things going on and
Yeah,
everything is about, community building and especially our own community. Not many, I know when I went to a few meetings or met with real estate investors, there weren't a lot of people that looked like me in the room or, understanding what was going on and things like that. So, if
Mhm.
there are any classes, anything that you're doing, on the land, please let us know. We definitely want to represent and
Right. Like
make
a
sure that,
workshop or
I
anything.
mean,
Let us know.
anything.
Yes. Let us know,
Because
please.
yeah, that is amazing. And definitely for people to understand how to actually do real estate investing and developing. That's a big
Right.
key that you're really taking on because that's the harder part. Um, in the process there of developing. Can you explain that a little bit in the comparison between the two and like what you learned with doing both of them?
yeah. So it's interesting in yeah, there is a big distinction between the two. Like real estate investing, typically you you can do it. Typically, people do it on the residential side.
Mhm.
They'll buy houses and fix them up and either rent them out and sell them. With that, you don't need to know too much about construction, but it does help to know a lot about construction with that because, if you're investing in real estate, sometimes if you don't know too much about what's going on and you're trying to, get work done, contractors can um, try to, get over on people and that whole situation. But it's best to, know a little bit about, learn a little bit about the construction process so you can save money and time that way. But yeah, real estate investing is pretty much you pull your money or resources, either yourself or with other group members, or depending on the type of investing you're doing, you can do a Section 8 or Section 42, in which, Section 8 is when you have the HUD housing
Mhm.
or some type of government entity
Right.
that will pay the rent for the person renting. And Section 42 is a little bit, it's similar. It's for government type of housing, but it's when you get a tax credit for the real estate investing that you're doing. So say if you have a multifamily or something like that, and
Mhm.
you want to do a Section 42 for affordable housing, then you can say that, okay, I have this many units going to affordable housing, and this will cost X amount of money. So then you can like apply for that type of tax credit, and that you can potentially get that investment from the government entity. But yeah, that's a little bit different than real estate developing. Real estate developing is when you go out, source your own land, and then find the funding sources. Either you purchase the land yourself, or find the funding sources like investors, or some type of government entity again, or grants. And then you do what's called an entitlement process. And an entitlement process will be like finding out what zoning the property is in, if it needs to be rezoned, going through the municipality process to rezone it. And then you get your funding, either of investors again, and then you go through the architecture process, which takes about 6 months to a year or so, depending on what kind of project you're doing. So you go through your whole architecture process. You create your business plan, marketing strategy, all that good stuff, and create basically like a packet, like a development Bible, if you will.
Right.
And send that out to your municipality, send that out
to get
your
approved.
Right, get it approved. Yeah. And if there's any changes that needs to be made, then you go through that. But it's like development, you kind of need to know a lot about real estate investing, business, and construction. While just real estate investing, you just need to know like a little bit about the housing market and renting and things like that.
Right. So yeah, so way more in depth when you're thinking about developing your own, land, because like you said, it's a lot of red tape. But like you said, really no different if you go buy a home and there's an HOA. So I love that you mentioned that, because a lot of times that's worse to me than, when you go buy land and they just need to know that you're not gonna, try to build, like a bomb or something in your backyard or whatever. But outside of that, most of the time it's not that difficult. You just want to know, the area that you're purchasing in, and definitely do your homework on the construction part of it, which, I've definitely fell victim to before in purchasing homes and things like that. You think your inspector or anybody is going to catch something or whatever, and then your foundation's cracked or something. So like definitely get with somebody, do your research. The Dream Camp is definitely doing some things that you can be watching. I always see your videos, so I know that you're dropping gems all the time. So things like that, people like this are available to you guys, so please continue to watch and follow her journey on this. But speaking of your journey, I do want to know, like, what's the most memorable milestone that you've had in just getting this built? Like, when did you feel like, this has come to fruition, or this is a real, thing for you?
I would say, so I've been working on, this for a long time, even before I got the land, just creating the business plan, creating the marketing strategy, just creating the concept overall. I think when the milestone that really hit for me was after I purchased the land and was on the land, like walking around, and seeing, like, in my mind, like, okay, this is going to go here, this is going to go there. Like, I'm like, okay, this is really tangible. And also just like talking with my advisors, who, are also developers and things like that. And it's like, we're right there. We're right there, like, actualizing it. So yeah, it's like really just walking around and walking around the property, just talking to my advisors, like, this is really, really going to be right.
That's beautiful, beautiful. And speaking of your advisors, how important is that, to have mentors, advisors in a project like this, or, just as an entrepreneur, period, with you moving forward with things? How important would you say that is to everybody?
it's very important, because an advisor, especially somebody who has been where you're trying to go, you know, and has done these things successfully at a high level, is very important because they can give you pointers of what to do, things to look out for, you know, the steps to take, like, okay, you know, do this, do that, do this, you know, and it can really like make or break you, to where if you don't have advisors, you can make mistakes on your own, but one, it could take a lot longer. It could cost you more money in the end.
Yeah.
You know, even, yeah, starting out, you know, even when I was doing Let's Rebuild, at first I didn't have advisors, I didn't have mentors, and I was kind of just winging it, you know, and now that I do have advisors and mentors in the industry, it just makes the world of difference. Like, you know, I can be more confident in making these moves because, you know, I have people behind me who's done this at a high level, and they're, you know, coaching me through this, you know, every step of the way. So, you know.
No, that's what I always point out, how important it is to find someone in that field. If you don't know what you're doing yet, or even if you feel confident, really latch on to somebody that, you know, you admire, or that, you know, you see, you know, at the level that you want to be, because really it really, really helps.
Yeah.
But speaking of when you were without the advisor or mentorship on Let's Rebuild, and you were pretty much new there, you know, in Alabama and stuff like that, can you give, you know, pointers or moments that it was difficult, and then how did you push past that because you didn't have anyone at the time?
Yeah, there's been a few moments where it was really difficult. So, you know, Tuskegee is a very historic town and environment. And with that, you had hit on something earlier about, you know, like a lot of times some things are, you know, by design in these neighborhoods. But in Tuskegee, there's, you know, a lot of abandoned homes and things like that. But a lot of times I ran into issues with, you know, leadership in the town. So, you know, the municipality and things like that, because they didn't want things to change really in the town. They wanted things to stay the same. And by the same, you know, don't try to improve the neighborhood. So I ran into a lot of issues with that, just old thinking and people trying to stop progress, and me not having, you know, a North Star, advisors and mentors. A lot of times I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to turn to. You know, how to keep going, essentially, you know, in that situation. So a lot of times it slowed down progress. I had to stop some projects until I can think through, like, you know, look it
Regroup,
up on
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah. Regroup, look it up on YouTube of, like, you know, how to move forward in these kind of situations. And so it took a lot more time. It took a lot more money too, because, you know, my money is tied up into these projects essentially. And, you, you know, I couldn't like turn these projects over to the homeowners and things like that. So,
Right.
yeah, it just took a lot of time and money, not having advisors on my side. And I did learn a lot in the process of, you know, what to do, what not to do, but just having advisors and the right mentors could have, you know, really helped me out in the situation, and um probably helped me would probably would help me get funding and things like that into the organization sooner as well. So
And with those
yeah.
challenges, what made it worth it still? Like why did you still, you know, that was still a success. So, you know, what made all of that worth it for you?
Just seeing the difference in the community that I was making, especially with the students, like there was actual students getting in houses, you know, actually sleeping on beds, because a lot of times people were sleeping in their cars, you know,
Wow.
sleeping on from couch to couch. And so just having, you know, my friends, you know, peers, other students actually sleeping in beds and can wake up in the morning, feeling refreshed, going to class, and, to really continue to make something of themselves, it has lit a fire under me to where, we have to keep this going. We can't just let these obstacles get us in the way. So
Absolutely.
No,
I love
that's
that.
beautiful.
We
Yeah.
do have more questions. Go ahead, Brie.
Oh no, go ahead. Were you gonna read something? I'm sorry, I didn't even see them.
Oh, no worries. So we do have more questions in the comment section. The first question is, sounds great, but how do you go about finding investors?
yeah, that's a really good question. And one of the ways that we're doing is through networking, going to where the investors are. There's a number of organizations that have investors. Right now, I'm located in Atlanta, strategically because that's where a lot of Black investors are located, to seek out investment. So, I'm joining organizations out here. One, shameless plug, is the Gathering Spot. I'm not sure if a lot of people heard of the Gathering Spot. It's like a Black social club here in Atlanta, LA. I think they're opening up one in Houston, Texas.
Hey.
But yeah, so yeah, networking is huge. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Going to where, these people frequent, like, so with the Dream Camp, we're heavily involved in sustainability, construction, resort, communal living. So with that kind of gives, the kind of locations and events that we need to go to. So we need to go to, sustainability events. Investors, can be there. Go to real estate events, things like that, to network with those kind of people and just talk to everybody. When you're there, just talk to everybody. And because you never know who is sitting next to you anytime you're networking. That's one way. Another way is through our advisors and things like that. They have a network of people, and yeah, just getting out there, social media, having a newsletter, things like that. Utilizing LinkedIn is a huge one too. I'm not sure if everyone's on LinkedIn, but utilizing your network on LinkedIn is huge because investors really reside there. Even just typing in the word investor can, pop up some things, and yeah, just having the right materials too. Like the business plan, marketing strategy, like having all of their
Ready to have the
information.
conversation, right?
Right. Right. So when you do talk to them, you have the things to back it up with. So you're ready for the investment. So yeah.
The other question was, and thank you so much for answering that.
Mhm.
The next question is, what about a tiny home environment?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were thinking about tiny homes. So we do want to have multiple locations. At this location, the homes won't be the tiny homes. However, um, we want to have up to 3 other locations here in the US and have different kind of themes and different kinds of structures of different sizes there too. So we might end up in the future having a tiny home environment, but yeah, we're definitely open to it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Was on all those in there. Sorry, I missed all of that.
The comments and the questions were just rolling, and I was just waiting. Just ask, but also informing them, like, hey, when we get a moment, I'll ask your questions.
And then our last comment, it said, please, would love to help if and when needed. I just tapped into the live and love the conversation. We'll follow up. Awesome. Yes, definitely reach out to her. It's the Dream Camp, THEE Dream Camp. I know that she will be happy to receive, some assistance there. And with that, how do you ensure that the Dream Camp remains inclusive and welcoming to individuals from all backgrounds and what advice do you have to, like, make sure that you're creating that type of environment?
Yeah, that's actually something that, is the main reason why we're starting this. Like typically, in the resort community space, we're underrepresented. Like there's not that many places that we can go and just, see us, represented. And so that was a big thing in creating this. Like even in our plan, we want to have um, exclusive like things that are, specific to us and, different cultures, no matter what your culture is, we want everyone to feel welcome. Um,
Inclusion.
yeah, hmm?
Inclusion. Like everybody feel.
Inclusion. We want, yeah, everyone to be included. Um, yeah, so you know how when you go into hotels and you see those soaps and things
Hmm.
like that displayed in the hotel room, one of the things that we're working on is linking up with Black-owned companies who have soaps, shampoos, and things like that,
Oh,
so we
that's
can have
yeah.
like Black, companies represented in that way, and just doing things like
Hmm.
that
Mhm.
throughout
So you
the
experience the
space.
culture.
So
This
to
is
make
what America is like. This is the true America, and this is what everyone actually
Yeah.
comes for. So don't just listen to the music and the movies, but here is, what else we have to offer, and come and be engulfed in that culture in a leisure experience. I absolutely love that.
exactly,
Luxury leisure experience. So that is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
We need Black
exactly.
Joshua Tree. I like going to Joshua Tree, but I would like to go to the Dream Camp space.
Exactly the space, exactly the vibes. Right, exactly.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, I love it. Especially the outdoor community and things like that. I think as a culture, maybe we've shied away from it, or, I always hear like
mhm.
I'm a hiker. I like that's what I want to do on my birthdays. I'll go on like, we'll be out there 5 hours at a time. I like camping, and I always get, like, we're not doing that with you, Bray. You know what I mean? But I feel like you're creating, because it's a glamping experience, and I feel like you're creating a way to be inclusive in that way, bringing, more of our people to that environment, and like, this is what it looks like, come enjoy the outdoors, look at all the stars maybe you haven't seen, being in the cities and things like that. So I love what you were creating. That's absolutely amazing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and that's exactly the vibe. Like we're making, outdoors
Mhm.
cool. That's the goal,
Mhm.
Like this is our culture thing.
Yeah,
So like we need to embrace it.
yes,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. So I already know the food that's going to be there is going to be, you know,
Oh, amazing. It's gonna be
it's going to
Exactly.
be
good.
good. Yeah.
Entertainment
Hmm.
and
So,
food gonna be on point. I already know.
Exactly. Like we're planning on having theme parties, night
mhm,
theme parties,
mhm.
outside, all that good stuff, concerts. It's gonna be the vibe.
So when can
Yeah.
we expect some movement where we can get onto the property, at least, where you're breaking ground, anything like that? What are your next events, or what can we look forward to?
Yeah. So right now we're in the phase of getting investors. So we're opening up an investment round
Okay.
and we're gonna be closing it around September. And so going forward from there, we're looking at breaking ground again to really get started with construction around February of 2025,
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
and then having our actual open, um, at least of a glamping space area. We're gonna have our open around uh, March of 2026. So around 2026, I'll just say will be like the open time.
Perfect.
But yeah, we're pushing like to actually open 2026 and hopefully to break ground around 2025. So yeah, this year is a year of getting our investment funds and also getting that design down. So our
Right.
site plan, like the official site plan, and the all the floor plans, construction drawings, all that good stuff.
Perfect. So yes, everybody, be looking forward to stepping foot 2026. I'm so excited. No, it's going to be a great project. And like she said, investing, they're doing their first round here soon. So it will be open until September. So if you are one of the investors that are looking for something new, definitely want to get into something that means something, community building and sustainability, definitely look into the Dream Camp. How can we invest, or is this, what information do we need to assist with this?
Like,
Yeah, so yeah, we have on our website we'll be posting the crowdfund investment opportunity, so that way all, anybody who would like to invest can invest through that crowdfund. We'll be posting that next week onto our website. There'll be a button in the top right corner that says invest. We'll announce it on social media when that is up. However, you can look us up on our website at www.thedreamcamp.com. And our website has other information about, the total vision, our team, the membership that we have. But yeah, the actual investment portal will be up next week on the website. And you can find more about the investment as well on our Instagram. We'll be posting more facts and things like that. And we'll also be having a webinar coming up, and we'll announce the dates of that webinar about accredited investors for that fund and the non-accredited investor fund. So we have two capital raises that we're doing, one for accredited investors, one for non-accredited investors. So
Perfect. Two capital raises.
Yeah.
That's what you'll do. Well, we'll definitely make sure that we're in attendance and can pass that along. So as soon as you post that and things like that, we'll definitely make sure that we get that out as well. We absolutely love what you're doing. We just wanted to make sure that we give you your flowers and, uplift this amazing project that you have going on. So thank you so very much, Aleeyah, for joining us tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. I just want to say thank you again, and make sure that we get all of your information into the chat. B, if you could go ahead and just pin those things. I want to make sure that everyone is watched, gets that information. And if you
Miss
would.
Brenda had one more question.
Oh, sure, yes. Sorry, I can't see them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So just one last question for you, Miss Aleeyah, and thank you so much. How much does an investor have to invest in guarantee? Was the last question for tonight.
Yes, so with the crowdfund, it's starting off at $400 to invest and goes all the way up to however much you want to invest. And on that, when we post the actual investment portal, there's going to be a series of different perks for, the level that you invest, but the minimum is $400 for non-accredited investors. For accredited investors, that's a different capital raise, and we have a investment attorney for that to kind of handle that, but that minimum is a lot more. But if you want to do the crowdfund capital raise, then the minimum is $400.
That's not bad at all. It's worth it.
Yes, and she'll
Definitely
be announcing those dates, and we will make sure to keep everyone on our side informed as well. You guys see that the website is pinned in the chat here, so make sure that you write that down. Follow the Dream Camp as well on Instagram, and you'll definitely be updated with everything that's going on with the project. So I'll leave that up for a bit. Anything that you wanted to add, Ms. B, before we end the night?
Definitely. I was going to ask, are there volunteer opportunities? Because there may be viewers who are watching who may want to pitch in. Other than monetary, they may want to help building, construction, things of that sort.
Yeah, so actually that's one of the things that we are planning for when we do break ground again with so through my nonprofit, Let's Rebuild, we are gonna start doing once a month once we start building again. So this will be in 2025.
Okay.
Once a month we'll have volunteers come out and help with the building efforts for a weekend at the end of the month. But yeah, in 2025 we'll have more information out about that. But yeah, that's one thing that we are planning. We do want to have, volunteers help with the building effort so that it's really, communal communal effort as well.
I like that idea.
Perfect.
But
All
that
right,
was
well,
it.
well, thank you so much. Well, that will end our night tonight, Miss Aleeyah. I want to thank you again so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the wonderful things that you're doing just for, honestly, the planet and especially our community. We're going to continue to uplift you. So I really appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you
Just anything that
for
you want to
having me.
add? Oh, no problem. It was an absolute pleasure, honestly. Like I said, we're going to continue to post your stuff. And thank you, everybody who joined and got to learn a little bit about Aleeyah's journey and the Dream Camp. Again, that's THEE Dream Camp. You guys can follow her on Instagram and, of course, the website. I'm your host, Brittany. It was wonderful having you guys all tonight. And thank you so much for joining Sister Soul Sessions.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ms.
Have a good
Aleeyah.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you.